through the things that the prophets went through, but they just want it. It doesn't work like that.
They want the prophet's reward. Yeah.
And it's frustrating because when you're going through these things, and other people, you know, they may say, well, you know, I don't understand that. So you can't understand it unless you've been through it.
No, that's it.
You know, you appreciate this truth more when you've been through particular sufferings. You know.
Yeah, and you come out and you look back at the end of it that you've come through.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
In the truth, experience, X means out, and experience means to try. So once you've tried something out and you've come out on the other side, you can, like, that's the thing, you can understand the process, but then you can experience a process, man. Like a lot of people, they're two different things. A lot of people can understand A to Z, but they haven't done A to Z, so they don't have the experience of it, man. So when they actually find themselves in that situation and they think there's something, it's like they fumble the bag, man. You know, that's why you got a lot of fake prophets out here, man. You just put it out there, you got a lot of guys that aren't serious, and it's like they'll see a certain brother, like, let's just be honest, let's break it down properly, man. There's nothing wrong with being inspired by men. You can be inspired by men, you can look at men above you in the truth and like, I want to be like him one day. That's good. Ultimately, the one we want to be like is Yahweh Shai. But there's a difference between faking the front and actually, as Karab was saying, going through what it takes, man. You can't look at a man that's been in this like 15, 20 years and think within 2 years you're going to be like him. Why? Because you understand the process of how you got there, but you haven't yet experienced it. You haven't tried it out. And a large part of trying things out is time. As we're talking about the instant gratification, you ain't gonna go through everything the truth has to offer in a year, 2 years, 7 years, 10 years. The more you go through, or the longer you've been in, the more you endure, the more you know, the more you understand, the more you overcome. So as Karab was saying, the 2 meals, the microwave thing, you put it in there for 3-4 minutes, and I mean it can go in your stomach, but it ain't as good as the proper cooked food. You know?
What you're saying is very true, because it's about time, and time is what's needed for the trial of our faith. Because if we could just, Yahweh could have it to where we can walk into the kingdom now, but we're not ready because we have to go through the trials and adversities. So this is 1 Peter 1 and 6, and it says, wherein greatly you rejoice, now for a season, if need be, you're in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than that gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honour and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
I may say one thing and remember what happened with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they literally went through the fire. That action was actually symbolic as to what we're going to go through in the time of tribulation. Alright, because it says in the book of, if you can, brother, real quick, and I'll get it back to you. Zechariah 13 and 9. Remember, it says that the 1/3 shall be tried, right?
Zechariah 13 verse 9, it says, it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David.
Try verse 8.
I can't. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Zechariah 13 and 8. Oh, so like I've been 12 minutes, like 13 and 8, my mistake. And it shall come to pass in that day, in that land, in all that land, saith Yahweh, the 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein.
Yeah, and as the Apostle Ramla broke it down, because certain brothers was just kind of confused. Do the 2/3 represent the rest of Israel all around the world? No, not necessarily, but only America does. Alright, so the 2/3 of our people that will be destroyed is only in America.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're going to have other Israelites that are going to be destroyed wherever they've been scattered abroad, and because when they heard the word, they didn't think about, you know, taking things to a whole nother level of agreeing with the word and then doing that which is of the word, you know? So they're going to be destroyed, but mainly, more in particular, the 2/3 is referring to the Negroes and all of the rest of the tribes in America. Go on, brother.
And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire,
and
we will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried.
Right, so the brothers in America, I mean, all of us are going to be tried. All of us are going to be tried. But you gotta understand something. The salvation, the main salvation that's gonna come, it's gonna be in America, okay? And then we're gonna be saved as well. Because remember what it says in Jeremiah 16 and 14. It says, it will not be said that the Lord hath delivered us out of the land of Egypt, but it shall be said that the Lord delivered us out of the land of the north and all of the lands which we scattered abroad in. So the main deliverance is going to come to America, all right? And then the deliverance is going to come through as well. Excuse me, the deliverance is going to take place among all of the other countries we've scattered abroad in as well. Go on out, let's read that.
And it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined.
Right, so more in particular, the brothers in America, they're going to be more tried. They're going to go through their test. And it's going to be in the hour of, what is it, the hour of martial law, and also Jacob's trouble, and also, right, the hour of temptation. So the 1/3 are going to be tried based on what they're going to be put through. All right. So the action that what happened with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was symbolic as to what we're going to go through. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I'll get back to you.
This is James 1 and 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
So the trying of our faith works patience, man. You know, because to try is what, when you put something or someone to the test, man. You know, and then because of that, you endure the suffering. You know, but it tries your patience to endure, man. See, this thing's about endurance, all right? Because it's like when you first come in, the scripture says the word was like, it was sweet like honey, you know. But then when you actually, when the Lord starts dealing with you, it's a different thing, man. You know, like I remember the apostles saying that you can come in, like when you first hear about the truth, the very first time, you can believe, but the Lord ain't really dealing with you, man. Like the Lord will start dealing with you like almost like 1.5 years after you've been around, man. And that's because, and that's in the scripture, it says wisdom will try it, man. Like a woman, like if you get with a woman, right, you want the sex, okay, but if she just gives it to you, you're gonna be thinking, well, I know I ain't the first guy you spoke to, so you just be spreading your legs for anyone. Like, it kind of turns you off, man. You wanna have to work a little bit, like woo that woman a little bit, have that little foreplay or whatever, and then you get to it, man. And it's the same thing with wisdom. Sophia, she ain't just going, oh well, you're interested in me? Okay, here I am. Nah, you're gonna have to work for that, man. So in the truth, when the Lord starts dealing with you, it's like that's when a couple of years in, now you start going through all that fucked up shit, man. All of a sudden, your family hates you, your job is shaky, all kind of hell, man. You know, that's the working of your patience, man. Go on, huh?
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Verse 4, but let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire.
So there's such thing as, because we already said that patience goes back to the word suffering. So the Lord is going to put each man through a perfect level of suffering
That they can bear.
that they can bear. As he was saying earlier, the Lord's not going to give you something you can't bear. So whatever is, you know, the max point for each of us, the Lord is going to give us that perfect amount for the working of our faith.
And entire, wanting nothing. And if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
Yeah, so when you ask, that's why the Lord said, ask and it shall be given unto you, knock and the door shall be open, man. You know? So pretty much, man, like if you ask for faith or you ask for wisdom, whilst going, see, the Lord ain't gonna put you for a trial and then don't give you the tools to get through the trial, man. Like the Lord will give you the tools, but you gotta ask for it, man. And you gotta actually try and apply it, man. You know? Has it got any more in that? Where's that one where
I had something else.
where's that scripture where we're gonna talk about it? The body.
Corinthians.
Yeah,
I think it's Corinthians 4. You still want James, or should I
No, go do all the precepts you got.
Yes, I've got. This is Galatians 6. Because where you're gonna find out, this ain't. It's brilliant that you got the body, but this ain't a hold. You know, and I ain't gonna be holding your hands when you're in that chariot. You know, with you. So this is a scripture to base on that. It's Galatians 6, and I'll start at 6. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, Ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
Yeah, so read that again, man. Read that. That's
Brethren,
a good one.
if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness.
We're in the flesh, man. So, first of all, there's all kind of like mad doctrines out there. You know, the flesh would have you ask questions and stuff. And then some people that aren't spiritual enough, they get swayed by that, man.
God.
So a man can come around and it's like, oh, you know, you've got questions, and it's like, okay. But then it says, restore in the spirit of meekness, man. You know, so like if a brother's borderline going off, man, you have to yourself have to be humble about it to restore the man, you know. But if he's not hearing it after a while, then of course it changes up. But firstly, restore in the spirit of meekness. Go on, huh?
Considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. This is the point.
So like, yeah, that's the spirit, man, because I remember I put it in the chat. I have to go past a certain part in North London, near to where I live actually, to come and go home from work on the bus. And I sent a picture to the brothers in the chat of some guys that we used to know that associated with someone that used to be with us, right? They're out there teaching now, where we used to be ages ago. And then today, again, on the way to go to the underground, I had to walk straight past, you know, that spot, and they were out there teaching, man. You know, now, these are men that have gone off, man, you know, and we're not fake, man. Like, we're not fake. Even if we don't, and we learned this from our apostles, man. Sometimes people used to come up to the camp that they'll be cursing out, they're going off, but we're gonna acknowledge you, man. You know, at the end of the day, you're a brother in that you're an Israelite, but we're not cool because you don't teach the right thing.
That's it. So lucky, brother. We still love you, but we gotta love you from a distance.
From a distance. So I wasn't like, oh well, these are them brothers. I'm just gonna walk like I didn't see them. No, I went to them. Look, shalom, man. Whatever, cool, and I'm off. You know, because at the end of the day, it's about like cursing brothers out isn't to vent, man, your own frustration on a man. It's in the hopes that the man is turned around. You know, and he's restored. Okay, as this scripture was saying. Go on.
And this is it, verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Mashiach.
Yeah, so you go on.
For if any man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
Yeah, man, and that's another thing as well. So, like, we were talking about experience and trying things out. It's like, sometimes once again in the flesh, you may feel like, oh, well, I've been in it for a number of years now, and you start getting high-minded. Now the scripture says, think, what? Read that last verse.
For if any man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
Yeah, so you're only deceiving yourself. If I was to think like that, you know, most I forbid, I'm only deceiving myself, man. You know, because at the end of the day, as much as you know, or as much as we all know, you go to bed and you wake up and you're in the same position, man. You know, we can't save ourselves. We need Yahweh Shai, you know. So at the end of the day, we're nothing. Okay, go on, huh?
But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone.
Yeah, so what does the word prove mean? To put to the test, man. You know, so pretty much that's what the scripture says, to whom much is given, much is required, man. The Lord is going to give you them talents, right? And you've got to put it to the test, or the Lord will put us to the test to see what we're going to do with it, man. You know, that's why, as the elder was talking about earlier, he briefly mentioned it, keeping up the shows, you know, coming out and doing the work, man, because we've been given something to do, man. You know, so you've got to do it. I brought out a precept earlier where Yahushua said, I must work the works of him that sent me whilst it is day, man. We still have the liberty to be out here. You know, we're not being rounded up off the streets yet. The internet isn't shut down. So what's the excuse, man? You know, there is none. Okay. You go, huh?
Luke 19:13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them £10 and said unto them, occupy until I come.
Yeah, exactly, man. So to occupy until the Lord comes is to do the work until he comes, man. You know, keep going, keep pushing. Okay? Ari, are you going?
Yeah, I got precept.
That word occupy. Just gonna look it up. The word means business.
Business, yeah.
Now you got people out there that will research this word and actually think it's an actual business. They're different business notes. But business is doing this work. Like when you're given talents, like the brother said, the Lord gave us each and every last one of his talents. We're supposed to use those talents to gain more talents. That's the business.
Corrupt, you got that one in
Go on, brother.
Oh, you want to
Yeah.
so like
no, Aria, you got something in it?
Yeah, you got.
I've just got a bit more. The
Oh,
definition of
Slack.
occupy.
Yeah, go on.
Slack, yeah. It says to take up or fill time, space, to engage or
You got
employ
it.
the mind, energy or attention of.
Read that again from the top, Salakia.
Right. Definition 1,
Yeah.
to take up or fill space or time.
Yeah, so we got time, so what are we doing?
Space and time.
Yeah, space and time. We're occupying that space and time, man. Alright, you know, this is exactly what we're doing. Going on.
Definition 2, to engage or employ the mind, energy or attention of.
To employ the mind.
Yeah, so we're oh, that's beautiful, man. We have employed, through the spirit and power of Hashem Yashai, we have employed our minds. Okay, you know.
So that means there's no place for idleness.
Exactly, man. You know, like you, come on, man. Now, sometimes it's, you may be there thinking of a topic to do a lesson on, and you may be there for a while thinking, but at the end of the day, you always gonna find something.
And you know what? It's lucky. You know what Elder Rahman says? Just push the button.
Yeah.
Once you push the button, it's like the spirit just,
Yeah.
and it just let the spirit take over. Just trust. That's a part of that faith. That's why I don't always write down my lessons. Because when I'm not doing that, you're relying on the spirit. So try it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Let's get them other definitions.
Yeah, there's quite a few more good ones. It says to be a resident or tenant or to dwell in.
Yeah.
And that's a good point because when you see an abandoned house, what do you usually get in there? Squatters and lodgers and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
So we can't abandon this house that the Lord's given us to occupy. Yeah. Definition 4, to hold a position or office. Definition 5.
And what's the office, man? You know, the office is what? The prophets, the teachers, the evangelists. Okay, we're gonna get the scripture that deals with that. You got the apostles, you know, the helps. These are all the offices, man. So wherever our individual lots are, we've got to fulfill that, man. You know.
It's like the Apostle Paul spoke about the body. Everybody has their own office.
Yeah, just a couple more. It says, definition 5, to take possession and control of a place as by military invasion. Definition 6, to participate in a protest about a social or political issue as by taking possession or control of
You know what
buildings.
should come to mind, brothers? What scripture should come to mind? After you just read that.
Romans 13, that you be not slothful in business.
Nope.
No.
Nope. What else? Read that again. Read that
What's the
again.
last one? Is it?
It says, to participate in a protest about a social or political issue as by taking possession or control of buildings.
No, go up with biblical use. Go on biblical use.
Salakia. To take possession of or control a place as by military invasion.
Yeah, so what comes to mind based on what he said?
Man of war.
I don't know.
I'll tell you brothers. You know the scripture where it's in the book of Revelations.
Okay.
The 11th chapter where it says that they shall stand. No, I think it's in somewhere else, but it says something. There's a scripture where it says, it's Ezekiel 37.
Yeah.
It says they shall stand upon their feet.
Oh,
The
great
two
army,
witnesses.
great
The two
army.
witnesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Can't.
Yeah.
All right.
And great fear fell upon them that saw them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Revelations 11.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're employing our minds
Yeah.
with all of this, man.
I got to preach
Brother,
that.
you kind of right though. With the
To,
first
um,
scripture
Yeah,
you
I was
quoted.
thinking Romans 13.
To what?
Slothful in business.
To what you're saying there.
Yeah, go on.
Surah 11 and 13 says, lift up your head. I'll start again. Take my time, man. Getting excited.
Yeah, man.
And lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw it marveled at him.